We're here at Travis Park, and this is where hundreds of migrants were here for that rally. And we spoke to one man who escaped from Venezuela, and he says the journey itself was worth the sacrifice. As migrants make the trek to America, we often do not understand the reasons why.
Por cuestiones políticas. Yo trabajaba al Estado venezolano y tuve que salir del país por la represión política.
Jessy Amaya is from Venezuela and says he's been in San Antonio since March.
Colombia, Panama, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Estados Unidos.
He says the journey took him 2.5 months and spent 8 days in the Panama jungle, a place where people often die just walking through. And as migrants get closer to Mexico,
por los carteles y la trata de personas y personas del bajo mundo, es México, que es lo más peligroso.
For Amaya, he says he was in the Venezuelan army and felt forced to leave his country.
Yo soy ex militar, yo era de la Guardia Nacional, el Army, y me salí por el gobierno, que el régimen que me reprimió por no estar de acuerdo con sus ideales políticos.
He said he heard about the migrants that died in the tractor trailer 30 minutes after it happened. Says the trek itself is complicated and everyone is leaving out of necessity, not because they want to.
It's common sense that whatever they're facing is worse than the potential of death in the back of this tractor trailer. They know what they're getting themselves into.
Migrants in places like Juarez, right across our border, are still having to wait in the country for their court dates because the Remain in Mexico policy is still in effect, but that could soon change as the Supreme Court issues its opinions on final cases for its terms. KFOX 14 Morning News reporter Fidel Moreno Mesa is live at the U.S.-Mexico border and tells us what a decision from the High Court would mean for the future of asylum seekers stuck in Mexico.
The Migrant Protection Protocols, also known as the Remain in Mexico policy, has been in effect since 2019. Today, the Supreme Court is scheduled to make a decision on whether the White House can do away with the policy. The Biden administration tried to put an end to the program, but was sued by Texas and Missouri and forced to reinstate the policy. The program launched in 2019 under the Trump administration. It forced asylum seekers to remain in Mexico while awaiting court hearings in the United States. Alexis Sucero, an immigration attorney here in El Paso, broke down what the decision from the court would mean.
If the Supreme Court decides to withdraw or at least permit the administration to withdraw the program, it may mean that certain obstacles that have been in place throughout the pandemic years will be removed. That means we may see a metering system where the administration will still try to actually apply Title 42, which that has not been withdrawn.
The American Immigration Council defines metering as a tactic used to turn away asylum seekers. Under metering, Customs and Border Protection limit the number of people permitted to access the asylum process. Title 42 is another policy that denies entry into the U.S. due to health protocols. The Biden administration has also been blocked from lifting that policy.
Border Patrol agents are busy. In the last 25 days since water entered these canals, Agent Orlando Merero says 18 migrants have been killed.
When you consider the fact that the water-related rescues and deaths have taken part just after the waters got released in early June, and we're barely just finishing the month today, yes, it's very alarming.
Merero says they've also successfully rescued 17 people. He says these canals have a purpose, and their purpose is to filter water into our agricultural community. He says the water travels with a lot of force, going at least 9 miles per hour, carrying more than 300 pounds of pressure with a depth of up to 15 feet.
Nobody can withstand, or nobody will be able to survive that type of power. If you know anybody that is willing or considering doing the dangerous journey or trek to coming into our country illegally, we strongly advise them not to do it, not to do it. The dangers you'll be faced, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. And even though we believe that every dream is worth chasing, it is not worth chasing when you're paying with your life.
Marrero says the spike in water-related deaths and rescues is something he believes coincides with the amount of people crossing the border right now. He says they are still seeing record numbers with over 177,000 migrant encounters in this year alone.